So in today's video, we are discussing the topic of lawn fertilization, more specifically, how to get down a nice fertilizer application and avoid the biggest elephant in the room, and that is burning the lawn. A common misconception in the lawn care industry. Want to go ahead and address that in today's video. Burning the lawn isn't as much a common problem that comes with application as much as it is a common fear with application if done incorrectly, which is something I want to shed a little bit of light on because it is very easy to do, but it's also very easy to avoid. Proper fertilization is very important as it's going to guarantee us a beautiful, beautiful lawn that will not burn at all after the application. So as we know, there are so many different types of fertilizers on the market. We have granular, we have liquid, we have fast release, we have slow release, we have hybrids, synthetics, we have organics. So that alone is going to be a variable in all of this, depending on the fertilizer you are using. Now, before we go any further, I would like to go ahead and make you guys aware of the fact that I myself have an online store, JakeTheLawnKid.net, where we sell a bunch of fertilizers, granular and liquid, for your lawn fertilization needs. And the cool part about those fertilizers is they're a mixture of both fast and slow release fertilizers, which, by the way, in my opinion, that's my favorite way to go at almost all parts of the season. If you're looking for a one-stop shop, you get a nice pop of color in the beginning, and you also get a little bit of a sustaining color over the next 6 to 8 weeks after application when utilizing our fertilizer products. So if you're utilizing products like the 2406 flagship, that's going to give you a fast pop and a sustaining color. The 2600 green charge or the 1801 green punch, which are great liquid alternatives to granular. If you like liquid like I do, you put those down, you're going to get a nice pop of color within 7 days, and you're going to get a nice sustaining color over 6 to 8 weeks. And the overall vigor of that color is going to be dictated by the application weight, which is why I recommend in the springtime we go a little bit higher with cool season turf, with warm season turf, a little bit in the middle, and then edge it up before the bands in the summer, depending on where you are and if you deal with blackouts. So all variables we can discuss in future videos, but figured it was worth mentioning. What is the best fertilizer to buy for my lawn? The products we have on JakeTheLawnKid.net, what's cool about them is they're very, very universal in that you can use them at any point in the year. The flagship can be used at any point, beginning and middle, end of the year. The green charge can be used at any point within the year. And they're kind of hybrids, right? You have fast release and slow release. So any products of that nature, whether they're from me or from the big box store, that is the route I would recommend going. Now, there are some situations where I might go full synthetic, right? Maybe in the spring and at the end of the year with pure urea. As a matter of fact, this brings me to the topic of this video, which is about avoiding lawn burn. And that is the fact, again, everybody's afraid they're going to burn their lawn with these fertilizers. When they get done spraying their lawn, they're like, oh no, I'm going to damage it. I'm going to damage it. Oh no, what did I do? Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you the standard rate that we recommend on the products that we carry, at least here in the online world, whether you take care of your own lawn or you take care of it professionally, we often advise getting down 3/4 pound of nitrogen. The nitrogen is really what's going to be the main variable here. We recommend 3/4 pounds of nitrogen. And from my personal experience, if you get it down in granular form, that's not going to be enough to do any damage. It's actually going to do a lot of good, right? In some cases, as a professional, I'm kind of deviating a little bit here. As a professional, we can go higher. We can go 1.25, 1.5 in some cases, 2 pounds, right? Depending on the products here, obviously. But there are higher application rates of nitrogen we can go within a single application. So what I'm trying to get across here is we're not even at the max, right? We're far from the max of what we can apply before we start doing damage, which brings me into another point. The only way you're really going to burn your lawn or damage it is if you have a little mess up or an error in between during the application. What I mean by that is maybe you're spreading a granular and something breaks on your spreader and you have a pile of urea that spills on your lawn. Yeah, if you don't correct that and get all those pellets out of there, they're going to get in the ground and they're going to zorch that spot to death, at least for a little bit of time. Now, with my experience with liquid fertilizers, I would say you're more likely going to get a super dark green than burning it, unless, of course, you get a certain amount of volume there. Over time, you're less likely to burn it with liquid unless it's really, really hot outside. Weather conditions. When you apply fertilizer, it's very important that you choose the right product. It's important you choose the right fertilizer product for the corresponding weather conditions you are dealing with. A good example, you don't want to put down a pound of urea in the summertime when the lawn is dry and in dormancy. You want to put down something that has a lower percentage of nitrogen and maybe a higher percentage of potassium to help with the stress in the summertime. That way you keep the lawn looking good and you avoid risk of damage, let alone burning it in the summertime. So proper fertilizers for corresponding weather conditions is going to be important. When it's a little cooler, cool season lawns we're talking here, when it gets a little cooler outside, then you can go ahead and bite the bullet and go with something a little stronger if you want to push a little more growth, like a urea product, whether it's granular or liquid. So that's something that's very important that we're actually going to be touching on once we get into the season. So the point I'm trying to make with today's video is, as long as you choose the right product for the right conditions and you have proper calibration and even coverage, even if it's a little on the heavier side where you're like, oh no, I'm going to burn it. You're not going to burn it. You're going to be fine. The only way you're going to burn it is if your equipment breaks and you have heavy amounts of product, which, by the way, a little bit of overwrap isn't going to do. And if you do feel like you over-applied and it worries you, all you got to do is water and your lawn will bounce back in a couple of months' time, maybe a little longer depending on. But anyway, the point is, you're not going to burn anything, you're not going to damage anything if everything's being spread normally, right? Maybe you feel you got a little heavy over here. Oh no, I burned it. You didn't burn it. It's all gonna be okay. The only way you would burn it is if you had a nuclear spill, if it were liquid, or if it were granular, you had a little pile. That's the only way. If that doesn't happen, you're going to be good. You click this button right here, something magical is going to happen. You're going to be hearing more from me as I teach you how to have the deepest, darkest, greenest, thickest lawn in the block. And if you click on these videos here, they're going to show you more on how to do so. So please go ahead, click these, click here. We would love to have you.